Hi, I'm Daniel Fisher, Director of Product Optimization here at Sweetwater Sound. Today I'm very excited to show you the Eventide H9 pedal. It comes in 3 different versions, the Core, the Standard, and the Max. The only difference between them is how many algorithms are in them, and each of the algorithms can be purchased separately or in groups. There's also an editor for both Mac and PC and iPad and iPhone. I'll show you those. But I want to dig in a little bit deeper and really show you how to use the editor. And after I show you that, I'd like to show you how easy it is to actually use the front panel, because it was very well designed, and it's surprising how much you can do right from the front of it. And although I'll be using keyboards today, hopefully I will inspire people who also play other instruments, guitars and vocals and instruments. And so let's just dig in. So first I'm going to show you the editor that you can get for Mac, PC, or iOS devices like your iPad, your iPhone. And I have them all loaded up here. And so on the screen here, which you're looking at, you'll see that you can see all the algorithms. Now, I have all of them installed, so they're all colored. But if they're faded out, that means they're still available for purchase. So I'm going to go look at Space-Time, and that's the new algorithm that they just came out with that has 2 delays, as well as modulation, as well as reverb. So it's really useful for the people who say, I need all that stuff at once. And so here are the parameters. I mean, basically have a mix, wet, dry, modulation amount for your chorus, your mod rate for the chorus, a reverb level, decay time for your reverb, color, tonality for the reverb. Then you have a separate delay level, 2 separate delay lines that can either be milliseconds or locked to tap tempo or MIDI clock, and then feedback. And a couple other really clever things is that these knobs some of them are bipolar, so that before 12 o'clock they do one function, and after 12 o'clock they do a different function. So for example, this one lets you set delay levels, and then on the other side it lets you say how much of the delay is sending to the reverb. So you can either have reverb that's by itself or delays that are feeding the reverb, which is really cool. So to demonstrate the sounds, I'm using a Moog Mother 32. It's a single oscillator analog synthesizer. It's monophonic. And so I just wanted something really simple so you could pay attention to hearing what the effects are instead of listening to the synth or someone playing. So I made a real simple little sequence here. And now I'm going to kick in the effect. And I have everything turned down right now. So now I'm going to first turn up some modulation amount. And then some delay level. And now some reverb. Now you've got the decay time, which currently is set as a tap tempo. So it's number of bars, but I can also do it in time. Here's color. And all of the cool artifacts that you're hearing as I move knobs should be considered, because all of this stuff can be controlled from a pedal or this big knob here they're calling the hot knob, or via MIDI. And so if you hear some cool effect as I'm turning something, you can think, wow, I could be doing that in real time as well. So back to this. And the reverb, they're showing you that you can have it in series or in parallel, so that in parallel, the reverb it gets hit by the synth or by the instrument and then rings out, and then the delays happen. In serial, every time an echo hits, it feeds the reverb again. So it's 2 entirely different ways of using this. And so it's very flexible. And obviously the editor is very easy to use. And you can also use the editor on your iPhone, and it basically has the exact same editor, and on your iPad. And these can be run via USB with the camera kit or Bluetooth. And Bluetooth is really convenient. Since you don't have to have any connections, you can run all 3, Mac, PC, or your iOS devices. So one of the things you can do is use this hot switch. When you press it, it lets you set parameters to a different value, and when you press the hot switch, you switch back and forth, basically giving you two different presets. And you can use that hot switch either there, or they have a jack in the back that can take either expression pedal or switch, and if you have a insert cable, you can actually have an expression pedal and a switch or multiple switches. So it's very flexible, and of course you can get to all that via MIDI as well. So if you want to, though, sweep between different parameters, they also have that. You put an expression pedal in the back, and you click on this button over here, which represents the heel position, and you put your parameters where you want them when the pedal's in the heel position. And then when you click the toe position, you can set all new values. And then when you sweep, either with this cool little electrical sweeper here, you'll see that each of the parameters are moving in their own amount in their own direction. And you can do that from this, you can do it via MIDI, you can do it via the expression pedal, and if you go to the hot knob, you can sweep those parameters here as well. So I'll show you what that sounds like. So I just got some crazy settings, but now watch. And the editor's really cool in terms of being a librarian so that you can move things quickly. Even at a gig, you can move patches in the order you want. And it's very important because one of the functions of either one of your pedal buttons out here or an external pedal is that you can set that up to be patch advance. And so every time you step on it, it goes to the next patch. You can even set what your high patch and your low patch is, and it will only cycle through those patches. So you can set up exactly what you need for a gig, and then simply touching the hot button once changes the order, and now you can use the same tap to go backwards. You touch it again, you can use the same tap to go forward. So very clever. Another thing I really want to show you though is, as neat as all these editors are, and the graphics are beautiful and everything, this pedal is brilliant in that you can actually do everything from the front panel as well, and not in a deep menu diving thing that would drive you crazy. It's actually laid out brilliantly. So what they have, you touch the preset button and you can go to a particular preset, and then you can hit one of three buttons, X, Y, or Z, and they can be set to be any parameter that you want. And there's typically about 10 parameters on each of the algorithms. And so you can set any three to just show up, and it's very clever. You see a ring, and so not only do you see the number value change, but you can graphically see it on this ring where you're going. And so I can change any particular parameter. Here, I'll run this again. So here I'm changing delay levels into reverb. Here's a modulation amount. And if I hit the button multiple times, I can actually sweep through every parameter that's available. In fact, all three buttons can sweep through all parameters. And you have a choice of either a normal mode, just by holding the button once, it goes into a normal mode, and that means whatever parameter's there when you saved it, it's always there. That's what that button always is. For the person who just wants three things and never wants to worry about where they are. So that works out really well. But if you simply hold the button, it goes from normal mode to expert, and all it does is that button sweeps through the exact parameters that are there on the screen. And you can see the values instantly simply by looking at the ring, and if you turn it, you can see the numerical values, and you can even press the button, the hot knob button, and you can do fine tuning as well. So you can get to everything. Every parameter that's available, I can get to from anything, and then I can just leave them there. And if I save, the next time I come up, it'll go into it. So it's very musically useful that way as well. So now I'm just going to sweep through some of the parameters using the pedal itself. So here's delay B time. Right now it's in units of the beat, so I can tap tempo. Here's the feedback level for the second delay. Here's the mix of the whole effect. Delay A. delay level. And each of the things, they're very easy to read because you're not sharing the screen with a whole bunch of parameters. You see one parameter name and you see the value very quickly. And you can even set your hot knob up if you wanted to. You can set the minimum and maximum parameter values for each of the parameters when you spin the hot knob or do the expression pedal. It's really, really brilliant that way. And basically, the way to think about this pedal is you're taking something that in the old days cost $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and the entire history of Eventide is available in this pedal that takes up a relatively small space on your pedal board. And if you look at pro rigs right now, you're going to see a lot of rigs that have 1 or 2 or 3 or more of these things on here. Because they do distortion as well as reverbs, as well as choruses, as well as delays and verbs and lots of different pitch shifting stuff. So it's cool to have multiple things at once. And to have that much power on a pedal that's this small that you can actually go in and edit either via external software or just right from the pedal, it makes this an extremely useful live pedal. Or as a keyboard player, it's really useful to have something that you can work right at a table level and you don't have to do a lot of digging. Everything just seems to work. So now I'm going to bring out the Korg Minilogue because it's polyphonic and it's a little better for showing off the choruses and flanges and things like that. And just notice, you're taking this pure analog signal and you're running it into a digital processor that has such a high sampling rate and bit depth, and the processing is so powerful that you're not getting the kind of artifacts you would get on a lower price pedal. And that's kind of what makes this pedal so fantastic. So let me hook that up. So now I got the Korg Minilogue plugged in. It's a 4-voice analog synthesizer, and I'm going to be severely underusing it because I just want to use a single oscillator of sawtooth, filter wide open, envelopes wide open, because I really want to show off this. So straight sound. And now I've got like a chorus sound here, and I kick it in. Move some of the parameters. And I'll show you if I wanted to maybe make 2 variations. So I'll put the toe on and bring the toe down here. And maybe I'll make a much less intense chorus. And then I'll click the toe up and I'll go for a real high intensity chorus. And now as I sweep, I go from that to that. It's really quite simple to set up. Try a few more here. Here is an ultra tap. They're calling this one Batman, so big cavey thing. And again, I'll set the toe and I'll make kind of a gentle version of this. Ease up the spread a little bit. And then toe down. And if I hook up a foot pedal into the expression jack, I can get the same effect as moving that slider on the side there. So here it is all the way down. And if I don't want to do that, I can also do it from the hot knob. So you just press the hot knob button and It's really a very clever setup and just an amazing amount of processing to fit in a small pedal like this. So now I'm going to choose another reverb. This one's called Black Hole. Has some very cool modulation effects. Moving the modulation depth, getting more extreme, less extreme. So obviously there's way more to dig into this than I have time for to do in the video, but hopefully I've given you some inspiration. If you have any further questions about the Eventide H9, please contact your Sweetwater sales engineer. My name is Daniel Fisher. Thank you for listening.